Well, we are back into picks and bans. 1-1. We're all tied up here. Exactly what we would hope between these two powerhouse teams as they move through the playoffs. Bans should be somewhat like the other games. You should see maybe a Corki even going out. Or they may even leave the Corki up since it wasn't that impactful. But no, as I say it gets banned out.
I wonder if the Soraka ban is going to show up on TL's side here.
That's another.
It was rather annoying. I wonder if it's also the Nidalee first pick still for CLG. I think you still have to, because if you don't take it, Dardoch probably will.
Well, they're changing the order of their bans, although the Trist ban still comes through again.
Oh, it was Gragas last time that TL banned in that second place spot, and CLG took it.
T-Liquid,
it was great.
They banned Gangplank, Graves, and Trist in both games.
Yeah.
But
my GRAs.
I'm a little surprised that Team Liquid is stuck with the Trist ban in all of the games.
Nidalee.
Usually, if something gives you trouble, you drop one of your pre-series bans, especially once you lose a game, because, yeah, first pick Ekko, we saw how important it's going to be. I really thought they were going to drop it for an Ekko ban. Maybe Team Liquid thought they weren't going to first pick it, and the Team Liquid would get it on the backside, but I feel like that gamble is a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion going on right now. It looked like that was something that they did not want to see come out first pick.
Yeah, maybe leaving the Nidalee up would have been something that they think would have been the takeaway.
Yeah.
They can get Nidalee if they want it.
They can get Nidalee, though.
I think they want Kindred more.
No, they can't get Nidalee. They have Kindred.
Okay.
So, Ryze and Kindred locked in for 1-2 on the side of Liquid.
Something has been denied, at least. But, yeah, like Zirene just said, that was what looked like a fairly heated discussion between Loco and Dardoch. Maybe an unexpected Ekko pick. But now they take the Ryze away. That can go top lane or mid lane. Although you would not expect Lourlo to be the Ryze player. It's not a tank.
That's true. He was actually, though, in solo queue, right? The Riven, the Fiora main. And if that translates at all to mages in the top lane, then for Lourlo, I mean, he brought out the Ekko very early on in the last round of playoffs, and he was able to play that. So if he's been practicing counters to different champions,
that's true.
The Ryze might be up his sleeve here and see how he does against Darshan.
Yeah.
But it's still a very hard matchup. Ekko is incredibly powerful right now.
Xmithie goes back to Elise. They like the crowd control that was bringing and the aggression he was able to provide. If he can keep hitting cocoons, it'll lock those kills.
They take Piglet's Caitlyn away as well. These guys are just trying to deny each other's champion choices. It looks like Nidalee will fall through completely as well, and this is one of those things that happens throughout a best-of-5 series when you're only having two teams playing against each other. The pick priority and the relative power of champions changes just based on the matchup. Xmithie knows he doesn't want to play Nidalee against the Kindred, but Elise worked very well, so who cares about Nidalee all of a sudden?
Poppy, poppy, poppy.
They're leaving last pick AD carry here for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And that just gives away that it's a mid lane Ryze, when they could have had the, they could have actually just hidden it.
Do not necessarily like that one, but they want to make sure. Maybe they're trying to find an opportunity for Piglet to play Vayne. They just want to make sure he doesn't have too much else around it. But even with that, they like running the Vayne with the Lulu or the Janna, and they have neither of those things right now.
It's still Caitlyn, though. Caitlyn will bully you. You have to lane swap it. I'm actually quite surprised that TL even picked that Ryze very early on, because they're just denying it from Huhi, right? Whereas maybe you could have left it up and first pick.
Oh, boy.
Anivia Soraka.
Oh, my God. This is so annoying. This is such an annoying composition here from CLG.
I'm just shocked to see Huhi play Anivia. That is just not his type of champion at all. Huhi has pretty much only played champions who can help in the side lanes, and Anivia is this stationary wave clear team fighter. But we have seen CLG, especially in the Summer Split Finals against TSM, just transition to a laning and team fighting game and take the enemy team by surprise. Maybe that's what they're going for here.
This composition is incredibly annoying from CLG.
It's a great team fighting team composition for sure.
It's very hard to deal with. Not only do you have the Soraka and the Ekko and then the Anivia egg, the heals are just going to be able to go on to whoever needs them. And the composition from TL, I like the Sivir rounding it out. It's a lot of movement speed, a lot of charge down. It helps assist FeniX on that Ryze. But still, reaching that Anivia is a huge task.
Yeah. The Sivir is pretty much the only thing that's going to be able to get him past that wall. A big Defiance, a big Sivir, maybe they can completely blow through that.
Yeah, and even when you reach the Anivia, well, you're not focusing the Soraka, so the heals go over to the Anivia.
That's true.
You basically have to split focus. Everybody talks about when you're team fighting and there's a Soraka, it's like, focus the Soraka down, kill the Soraka. Well, Anivia's going to stop you from doing that, and Anivia's going to kill you while you're trying to do that.
Team Liquid just need to shake off last game. They understand they're going up against composition they may not have seen a CLG run before. They may not realize the dynamic that's going to come out early. CLG always has something up their sleeve, and now it's to kind of test Huhi's champion pool, something they really didn't do all split. This guy was the one who would run the Victor, the Twisted Fate, LeBlanc, Corki when the team needed those things that were kind of near the top or could be played. But the Anivia now, and usually when we see an Anivia pick, it's a pretty nice pick from somebody. They can usually put up some good play on it.
Yeah, it's a fairly rare pick, but if you pick it in the right situation, when the enemy team doesn't have enough ways to get through the wall or to flank around the back or to interrupt you out of the ultimate, it can be very effective. And this could be one of those situations with Lourlo being the only person who can stop the Anivia ultimate.
Well, we're heading into Game 3. Tell us who you think is moving on to the finals. Send hashtag CLG winner, hashtag TL win. We'll update the poll in just a bit. This is going to be a big matchup coming in. Both teams have kind of seen what the water has to bring, tested the water. It's a little warm, a little cold in spots. We'll see who finds their way to shore first here. It's going to be CLG on the blue side, Team Liquid on the red, and we're going to be on the Rift for Game 3.
Looking at the mid lane, both FeniX and Huhi took Strength of Ages. So I actually got to talk to Froggen about this back in February, and he was saying, watch out for it. It's going to happen. All you do is farm Raptors, go back to it, get the health stack, walk by your jungler when he's farming camps, make sure that you're wave clearing and getting it. And because you're in a siege scenario as Anivia, if you get chunked out or poked or anything like that and a cannon minion goes down, boom, you get a lot of HP back and you can continue the siege from there on.
Yeah, and hey, it increases your max health, which means your egg gets more health too.
So it's doubly effective.
Tank and Anivia strats, but really, Strength of Ages is one of those incredibly versatile masteries that is just generically good. It has a high gold value. So unless Huhi was going very burst heavy with Thunderlords, Strength of Ages would be the next choice.
Even more annoying.
Yeah, like you said, he could get it up very early if he gets the cannon minions as well as the Raptors.
He even just has to walk by them as Xmithie is taking them. Same with FeniX. He also went Strength of Ages. We're seeing that more and more on Ryze, actually. It's all about survivability. The champions have enough damage on their own, and that's why we were seeing like Storm Raider Surge and now Strength of Ages onto Ryzes because, well, they don't need more damage. They're 100% fine in that department.
See, grasp the strengths.
Oh, match! Oh no!
What?
Oh! That is not exactly how you want to start it.
Oh my god!
And the discipline to give that kill over to Huhi.
Yes.
Holy, that was a mind game and a half. So there were not deep wards for one. And this is the second time CLG has modified their level 1. The first game was because Darshan was farming the bottom lane. This one, though, was Matt was going in to try and harass blue jungle because it was a blind start and he was expecting to either stop Gromp from the Caitlyn and Soraka or a Wolfcamp or Gromp from the other two. And he's just meandering in, thinking they're going to be doing something.
Yeah, he's on the opposite side of Piglet, too.
Right, so they were going to come around and he would have the exit path already of the jungler.
He tried to panic flash so early, I think he misjudged the direction when he got hit by the Soraka. That could be one of those things where his camera's not on his champion, and he takes damage, so he immediately flashes away. Oh my god, that's... Oh, man.
That's tough. Matt likes to be really aggressive on that Karma early game. It's the reason they keep picking it. He can be just a nuisance on that champion. Same with his John to play.
Yeah, but that's super good for Huhi in the mid lane. Having that kill on Anivia, if there's any champion you want early kills on, it's definitely Anivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started Doran's Ring to the Mana Crystal of FeniX, but what this means is if Huhi he's not going to go tier on Anivia, but he's still going to get to Rod of Ages so quickly.
Darshan adding the pressure to Lourlo in the early game, knowing he can get that aggression on. Every time Lourlo's going for a CS, Darshan taking advantage, may get the flash here, but the Corruption Potion was used just early enough to keep Lourlo out of that flash range.
And also, the first stack for Kindred does not go to Dardoch. Xmithie has the side jungle control because of what happened to Matt. This is about the best 3.5-minute start COD's had this series.
Yeah, but on the contrary, last game, TL had one of the best starts they could hope for with the jungle invade, with the way the lanes were going in their favor in the push bottom. So CLG, now they're going to have a good start, and we can see what they do with that type of lead. Where Xmithie looking really aggressive here onto FeniX.
The walls coming in.
Really good.
Blows the flash right away. Not something they had in the first game when we saw him playing with a lack of crowd control. Now it just comes right away. You're talking about Chronologic Gaming doing well. CLG was able to get thwarted by TL last game in the early part. CLG had set up all those wards on the red side jungle, tried to go for the top turret, but stayed too long. Didn't seem to phase them though. After that, they took full control of the game. Coming into this one, already seems like the momentum's in their favor. Kill onto Matt, flashes blown in mid. They're taking control.
Yeah, Huhi missed the last hit on that cannon minion. The free gold is the hardest sometimes.
The strength of ages.
Yeah,
would be sad.
When it takes strength of ages in lane, you have to like really tunnel on those cannon minions.
They're worth double, essentially. They're worth 2 cannon stacks.
Yeah, basic.
Sorry, 2 strength of ages stacks.
Yeah.
20 health.
Yeah. Make sure you use a spell on it, whatever. But Lourlo.
This could still be a kill.
That steadfast presence being down. Parallel Convergence locks him up for enough. He's going to give it right over to Darshan. More discipline in giving the kills over.
This is looking really bad for Team Liquid. Ever since in Game 2, when their over-aggressive gank bottom lane turned around on them for 3 kills,
Yeah, the TPs.
Team Liquid has just not looked the same. All of CLG's plays seem to be working. That's not a super creative gank that Xmithie did there. He walked through the river, which wasn't warded, and then he was so far ahead of the gank that Lourlo flashed and was still completely dead to rights. So Team Liquid is just not positioning themselves well and not making the smartest decisions.
I'm stuck.
And CLG is taking full advantage of it.
And this is the CLG that CLG fans were expecting to see here. Darshan with a very dominant lane, Xmithie having some pressure on the map, and a creative level 1 to throw the opponents off. And we think about even just the level 1 and the Anivia pick from Huhi. We haven't seen CLG in, what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
They've had a lot of time to prepare and practice different strategies, and we saw something that was an adaptation there at the start.
I would have figured there would be Twisted Fates coming out before we saw this Anivia play from Huhi for sure. But it doesn't seem like he's reaching too far back, doing well in the mid lane as top gets a little bit of pressure on, but they're able to survive this one for now.
And to take a step back to the start of the game as well, it doesn't seem like Team Liquid is making the soundest strategic decisions either. Looking at the AD carry matchup, you have a Sivir into a Caitlyn. And normally Team Liquid would want Piglet to be able to lane against Stixxay,
For sure.
but not in this champion matchup. So you take that one step further, and you wonder, why did they not do aggressive lane swapping wards where they 4 to 5 man invade to get deep wards so they can control a lane swap? Instead, they're blind swapping and also blind invading with one person. So not only did they not guarantee the lanes, they were also more heavily punished by giving up the first blood.
Could have guaranteed themselves quite a bit if they had gotten to the jungle safely at that level 1. CLG seem to have done their homework and were in the right spot at the right time, leading to about 1,000 gold lead here. When CLG had one last time, they did not let it go. Dardoch looks to get himself a stack here as he finds it. I think this will be number 2 for him, I believe.
And going even further back than just what happened in the early game, the champion select where they showed both of their solo lanes allowed this Anivia to get picked, which you typically only see as a red side counter to things. It just goes even further back.
And he did go tier, actually.
Oh, the cannon! Okay, there.
Huhi's going for the super stacking Anivia, tier catalyst. Something Peke did a lot at Worlds when he was playing Anivia. But it definitely takes a long time to turn into a powerful champion.
And actually just thinking about the matchup too, how much mana does Ryze actually need to go through Anivia's HP pool twice?
A lot.
We're gonna find out.
Ask Mr.
By
Owl!
this much?
It wasn't 3. It wasn't 3.
But even then, if he would have been egged, I don't think FeniX has enough mana to kill him again.
Yeah.
Gets out safely. The thing is, with that build, you got to kind of keep it in your mentality as well, even if you're on the brink of getting kills with your ice spikes, because it looks good when you do that damage. You still have to be Anivia. You still have to charge up. You can die very easily still.
Yeah. And charging up even extends to Stixxay in this matchup. He ended up getting a cull, which is not uncommon when you have a Soraka as your support. It's something that Immortals were actually doing a bit. And Wild Turtle would always take that when Adrian was locking in the Soraka. So it's a safe lane, and the reason that people don't actually start cull is because, well, it's kind of risky. But lane swaps, you see it, and Soraka lanes, you see it as well. So Stixxay, he'll be ending up on kind of a burst of gold later on. But CLG, they're just kind of investing in what they've already done.
Yep. Playing the stock market right now. More just the bond market. They're doing the safe investments with the call as well as the catalyst to tier right now. No immediate power, but we saw in the draft that CLG was drafting actually a team fighting composition. So they would then force Team Liquid to make the plays onto them. And since CLG had that slight lead early, They're just going to invest in some of the gold generation items or the items that turn on and power much later on in the game and just kind of take it to that point.
Oh, man, another Dark Seal for Darshan as well. He's up 33 CS.
It's one of the reasons they can kind of sit back and hang out, right? We got to kill the Darshan early. Fantastic.
Kill the Darshan.
We got
the Darshan.
Yeah, kill the Darshan. We got to kill the Ekko early. We got to kill the Huhi early. So that even allows them to just sit there. They don't have to farm for those first items. They pretty much pick them up and we're like, all right, we're already ahead of the game. Let's make that work for ourselves. CS is quite even throughout the lanes. The discrepancy is in that first gank down in the bottom. Lourlo, 82 to 45 CS right now. It looks like Darshan isn't going to slow down on that pressure at any point in time.
It's so strange because Darshan actually saw Dardoch clear out the ward and he's still sticking around, very confident in his play.
Right.
But he's on a pink ward, so he knows that Darshan doesn't have vision of this. He can't shove up completely and actually...
He does have a buddy.
He's got Xmithie coming. They would win the 2v2.
Yeah, they would. But you're going to be able to see him on that ward. He went into that bush.
You'd have to know by now that they're almost baiting something now.
It's a 2-on-2. Who wants to take it?
Ooh, nice boomerang from Piglet. Stixxay put himself towards the wall, so didn't really have an escape path there. We're going to have a back coming in from Xmithie. And that pressure in the top lane may pull up Dardoch for some pressure, but he's in the bot.
It's a 2v2,
No kill
and the
gonna
answer
come
is
in.
neither player wants to take it.
No.
But the interesting thing is there was an uneven distribution of vision right there. So CLG was expecting the Kindred to stay there, whereas Team Liquid knew exactly when the Elise had walked over, but it's still just going to be everyone recalling to play it safe.
Yeah, and Dardoch, he ended up walking up because Xmithie had walked into the second bush, so they didn't know if he was still chilling in there or not. Xmithie backs, Dardoch goes and clears Gromp, and then he comes back and actually sits in the bush for a little bit longer, so he wasted a lot of time on that bottom side.
Back from Lourlo in the bot lane. His teleport's up. Still looking at 2 teleports for CLG, but TL's matching as well this time. So we can get some aggressive cross-map fights if it comes down to it. FeniX more than happy to charge up as well. Those guys are saying, who can stack faster, really, in the mid lane? There's hardly been any aggression here unless you've seen a jungler.
Well, it's also double TP from both teams. This is the first time we're seeing
Yep.
a TP for FeniX in this series. So he's just going to try to match the pressure, which you honestly have to do against CLG because they're going to continue to run that strategy over and over again.
Aggressive.
Oh, he had to flash over.
Oh,
Took a lot of steps there
Yeah.
before really attacking Dardoch on that. I think he was trying to go for the Raptor as well as get out sneakily,
Yeah.
but could not.
Darshan used TP, so he has to get something
Yeah,
for it.
but
Matt's
Matt's a
already
little
low.
he's going really aggressive.
Just out of the parallel convergence, Defiance
Oh!
goes on Timewinder, right back through Matt. Darshan picks himself up another kill.
The most impressive plays is when the other team knows exactly what you're trying to do, and it works anyways. Darshan totally telegraphed turret dive right there, goes right on top of Matt. Matt dies with flash up right there. So definitely could have flashed away, but did not catch that second half of the Timewinder or think the ultimate was going to angle it such that it slices back through him.
Oh, man. Still getting sieged on right
Huhi
here.
and FeniX just crossed paths. They didn't see each other.
FeniX is coming up.
And straight ships in the night. It's going to be FeniX on the top side now. Huhi bound down to clear, but the team seems to have that sixth sense.
Yeah,
and they're
I mean,
able to
Anivia could
back
still teleport in to
off.
make it a 5v4.
There's the Sivir ultimate. They are on the hunt. There's the ultimate actually coming from Aphromoo as well. They're going to be pretty healthy under the turret. Do they turn now? It's going to be a healthy Huhi, and it does not seem like they will continue to engage.
Well, oh.
That Defiance, it was Piglet getting locked up, so really the follow-up damage wasn't there.
He spell shielded, but Anivia E can
Right.
pass through you, then you detonate it, so you actually get hit by it twice. So spell shielding is Sivir, you can't do that.
The Q, right.
Yeah.
Hit him in the face.
Either way, defensive teleport by Huhi to match FeniX's roam right there. Very defensive based on the ward positioning. It wasn't trying to turn away the fight, he was just trying to dissuade the dive. Because of that, Team Liquid ends up being the aggressors at the end of it, and I think they can take this risk out pretty easily.
Yeah, they get to push out mid lane and get a Rift Herald for Dardoch, who honestly on this Kindred hasn't had the same type of impact. He's been farming up, and he still has to go up against that Elise, which will be able to stun him later. So.
And this game, he doesn't even have a CS advantage on Xmithie.
Yeah.
Every single game, it seems like Xmithie is learning more and more about Dardoch and shutting him down. It's good adaptation by Xmithie. While it is the same item build, Dardoch's really been a non-factor in this matchup for the first 14 minutes.
And I want to see what Dardoch does to adjust, because last game he was just getting silenced, cocooned, and he couldn't even use Lamb's Respite. He didn't get Steric's Age. He ended up going third item Runans. He didn't go Strength of Ages. He didn't get the Tenacity in the defensive tree. And he didn't even go Merc Treads. Yeah. So what adaptation is he going to make if that keeps happening?
Well, we know he already hasn't taken Strength of Ages. He's once again gone with the Fervor Battle for the aggression.
Fight.
Which I like for the attack speed Kindred. I think it's a very defensible choice. I think the main thing that he would need to do this game is get the Mercury Treads by the time you're going to be putting in the team fight, because there's still the Soraka in this game, but there's just honestly more, because you're adding the Anivia on top of what can potentially be chained in from CC, and Mercury Treads I think are an absolute must for Dardoch this game. Or a QSS, one of the two.
Still top lane pressure coming in now from Piglet and Matt. Looks like they'll give Dardoch more time to get bigger as well in the jungle here with FeniX. Like you guys were saying, he hasn't been doing as much, but still trying to be a carry potential for the team with the build he keeps going on that Kindred. Huhi grabs blue. Mid lane's going to be a farm off now as FeniX and him go back and forth. 1 kill already for Huhi. It's pretty much all he saw since the beginning.
So they're putting FeniX in the bottom lane. They gave him blue. He's going to be in a 2-on-1. And then Lourlo is going to be up against Huhi, but FeniX has TP, but they're making a play in his lane, is what it looks like.
Yep. Bring the play to the TP.
He actually has TP advantage over Huhi. And they're not playing to his side. Lourlo has to go hold top as well, so they're going to put their dual lane in the mid and try to deal with the Anivia. Can't really deal with that wave clear, though.
Nope. Actually, TL would love to group here. Infinity Edge finished for Piglet. If they could actually get CLG in a position, get those blades bouncing around, they could actually get themselves a nice fight. Already tried for it in top, and now it looks like CLG trying to dictate mid a little bit, but this may just turn into a dragon.
CLG definitely has a lot of control. You'd expect them to go for the dragon pretty shortly here, knowing that Darshan has his teleport up. But at the same time, based on their itemization choices, they're willing to take their time with this.
Yeah.
It's not like Team Liquid doesn't also scale well. Sivir, Ryze, and Poppy are tremendous team fighters late in the game.
Holding off, making sure the river is warded on the top side, marking the wolf camp on CLGs. We haven't seen Dardoch going for that yet.
For Aphro.
Right now, it's all about people. They want to last-hit champions, not camps. Looks like FeniX here. He's like, I knew there were people behind me. I'm kind of 1v2ing right now. It looks like they pull off in the end anyways. Piglet stays middle.
Sustains right back up, kind of no problem, and FeniX is the one who has to walk away, so not a good aggressive move there by FeniX, because now they're getting pushed in and have to draw jungle attention down almost immediately.
There's a ward in that bush too, so as soon as he jumps over, but oh, Stixxay!
A flash forward.
Everyone can TP into this fight.
Stixxay is going to stand still on this one. Wait, Defiance keeps him there. He stays in the fight. Hits Lamb's Respite as well, but goes down finally. To Dardoch jumping in. They're going to keep this chase going. Dardoch very low after picking himself up 1, but aggressive there from FeniX.
Questionable Lamb's Respite there by Dardoch right there. They were going for the all-in onto Stixxay, and then as he flashed away and was out of summoner spells, they threw down the Kindred ultimate and just let him walk right back in there. Meanwhile, Darshan can teleport into the fight. Piglet actually can't join it because he's off on the other side of the map, and CLG, they get out of it with the 1-for-1, but I think they can take the dragon afterwards very easily.
Yeah, I want to watch that again because the rate at which the health bars are going down and the members who were there flashes forward, throws it out. He has a little bit of a shield here. The heals will be coming out from Aphro as well. He's already rather low.
FeniX is also kind of low, but I mean, he's got a Karma shield.
Yeah,
No way.
They would have killed Stixxay first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either way, it does technically go to delay the death of both of the guys that were in it. So a zero-sum game, I suppose. They both die in the end. But one guy had to expend his ultimate for that to happen, whereas they could have traded kills without it. Or just place it even further backwards so the Stixxay can't walk back towards it. I think that's what Dardoch was going for, is to just ult FeniX and not allow Stixxay to come back in. But it was just way too close to the Caitlyn.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, 6.6, not 6.7, so you can cast it on other people instead of just self-cast, but you have to cast it on somebody. It's not ground-casted.
Yes.
Seen a lot of aggression out of Team Liquid there in those plays. FeniX went really
whoa,
hard.
speaking of aggression.
Was low. They're not giving up. As soon as the batting order's back up, they're up to the plate. Trying to hit home runs all game here. So far, CLG is really the only one finding kills. Team Liquid may start to gather their forces now, push one thing down, get a little more direct so they can open up the map.
Yeah, by the way, CLG did take Dragon during the replay. They had the numbers advantage down there. Darshan doesn't have teleport here. This will be a test of the wave clear of the Caitlyn and Anivia. Test passed with flying colors. Not a single turret hit was taken in a 4v5 hold.
Yep. And last game I was talking about how the 3-man unit alongside the 1-3-1 didn't seem very efficient because they didn't have wave clear. This is a 4-1, and the Anivia wave clear is some of the best in the game. It is very frustrating to play against. And then you have Soraka as well, so turret diving becomes pretty much an awful choice. If you decide to turret dive that composition, you're probably going to lose. You have to go for these picks.
The game changed drastically because of those picks over CLG. The past few games, both teams have been low on wave clear. This one, much slower for TL. They've yet to take a turret down in this game. They just can't seem to get enough damage down. We saw them group bot. Now they're trying to group mid, but there's always one person that can keep clearing those.
Yeah, not only does the ultimate kill the minions over time, it slows them so they don't even walk up to the turret fast enough. They don't even stand a chance.
Can't even get Karma to help out. They just slow down. Liquid picking up their own resources here. Haven't really been able to put their foot in the door to find a way in past this 3,000 gold lead of CLG.
CLG doing really well, though. And we've seen them play slow games where they just play the map, they wait for the opportunities. CLG being incredibly aggressive when they have a lead is a little uncharacteristic. They like to choke you out of the game.
Yeah, this is actually fairly similar to game one if you just flip the team that's winning. Team Liquid had the 12 kill to 1 advantage at the very end of the first game. Only a 3,000 gold lead for CLG, but they're extending their control. The Dragons aren't stacking quite as quickly, but they still have the Dragon advantage and also the team fighting team comp that will be able to set up for them later in the game. So CLG is definitely in the driver's seat here.
This is a big task for TL mentally. It's a best of 5. You won a game, now you lost a game, and this one, you're coming right off of a loss, and this composition that you allowed them to draft is incredibly frustrating. Matt at the beginning, fail flash, like the mentality of this team has to be incredibly resilient if they want to get through this series, because this game is going to be very demoralizing, and it's just going to be a long one from the looks of it.
Absolutely. After the first game, we were all hyped as it ended because it was a great ending. But as you said, Jatt, the players calm, cool, collected. They know there's a long road ahead. We talk about mentality quite a few times in games, and it has to be there the entire 40 minutes or 30 minutes of each match.
And the entire 5 hours of a best of 5, you also have to keep your head. Something that these Team Liquid guys haven't had to respond to a loss in a best of 5 yet. When they played Energy, it was nice and clean. They played for about 2.5 hours. They went all 3 games. There was never a doubt. Easy. Yeah, we can play best of 5s. But when you lose that first game, a lot of it changes.
And we talk about in-game how stressful it is. A lot of times you can burn yourself out preparing, getting ready for the game, even mentally in that situation.
Well, even in games like this, you start wondering, okay, how much of a chance do we actually stand against this composition? How much energy should we really spend on this game mentally?
Right. And on each game.
In a BO5, you need to actually go all out, but it's so difficult. Honestly, this is a composition that tilts me just seeing it because it's so frustrating. Like, what are your options?
Zirene is losing air right now.
Your options are so hard to execute on against this composition. It's like, get the right flank. How do we kill Anivia fast enough? Well, I guess he's going to peel for the Soraka, so how do we kill Soraka fast enough? It's so frustrating.
It's hard to find the right initiation as well.
Yeah, so it's a great draft from CLG against what TL has.
Well, those kills get away with 100 HP. You just cringe.
I think it's a great draft from CLG, and they're kind of flexing their muscles for how versatile they can be. Because this is the type of draft that Team Liquid wouldn't have been expecting, which is why I think Team Liquid is safe kind of picking the things they do. Oh yeah, they're going to split push a bunch. Let's make sure we have teleport flank, put FeniX on a good laner, Piglet on Sivir, great, we'll rotate faster than them. But when you then look at it and say, well wait, CLG's just picking a strong top laner, tank, and then a strong 4-man wave clear unit, you're like, what? That's not what they did during the regular season.
One-dimensional.
But it shows, you know, the second dimension of CLG.
In that second dimension, the change comes from mid as well. It's not just Darshan picking up a Yasuo and
teleports.
trying to go harder. It's Darshan teleporting in on the Ekko, getting himself into a safe spot. Matt's actually kind of broken off from the team. That's difficult for Karma, so they get together and they group right in the choke, as you say, Zirene. Darshan goes in. He knows that's a bad situation, as the team also doesn't want to follow in that position because it is so dangerous. They back out. They've got the health on FeniX, so they've got control of the map.
Yeah, but what can they really do with it? It's pretty early on in the game to go for Baron, and FeniX
Basically,
is still
a time
there. I mean, if they really want to go
Play
for
some
Baron with
boards.
Soraka sustained, they could try.
Yeah, but like,
Ooh.
how do you get in
They're
on the
gonna
Anivia?
try.
He's gonna try to stop them. Darshan's
Oh
flanking. I
my.
have vision of him.
There's the peel off.
Oh!
Oh, Piglet's the main target.
They got him!
Oh no, on to Dardoch now. Piglet goes down very, very early in the fight. Lourlo tried to get a nice hammer down on the team, but it just wasn't enough to stop the DPS coming in. Darshan has to rethink the situation. FeniX, one last shot, and Stixxay is going to find it. CLG just being relentless in these engages, making sure they get everything possible.
CLG are looking incredibly clean right now.
Their Baron judgment this series has been so damn good.
Yep.
As far as knowing exactly how they can get the Baron. And with 2 pink wards, they're absolutely sure. But it's mainly the fact that Soraka can sustain the people tanking Baron to make this a lower risk play than normal, which is how they were able to bait that fight at 23 minutes without being low. But they're trying it again, and this time they actually are a little bit low because Soraka only has so much health to give.
There's already a blue elixir on Huhi. He is trying to delete people with this Anivia, and they're gonna go for more fights. Parallel convergence just outside
Right.
slow.
Whoa, they close on to Lourlo.
That was nice by Xmithie. He almost got locked by the tether, but repelled at the last second.
Oh, Matt with the shield.
Lourlo gets a defiant, or sorry, Matt gets the defiance.
What's the range on that shield? He was like 1,000 units away when he placed that thing on Lourlo to
It's
speed
fine.
away.
Touch karma.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, Team Liquid get out of it with just a few more deaths.
And this is why it's so risky. They're going to keep baiting it. Look at those traps, and that allows Huhi to just line up whatever wall he needs. And Lourlo couldn't body block there. He had to get out, or else he was on the other side of the wall, and that's why the ultimate from Stixxay was able to hit Piglet.
Yeah, and then the chase. We can get a little bit onto Lourlo.
Lourlo's pretty good.
We gotta
about
go straight for
the
Dragon. That's actually a great take by Team Liquid.
Oh, FeniX on the other side.
FeniX chooses the right way. He's got to instantly walk down. Piglet's in the front. He puts the spell shield down for the Peacemaker. It's the Hurricane that comes in to help pick up the kill.
Aside from that first game where Piglet really decimated CLG and Stixxay's damage was low, it's been Stixxay who's had a huge teamfight presence in the last 2 games, and in the last 2 fights, it's also been Stixxay who's gotten the final shot onto Piglet using the range advantage he has. He's down a little bit of CS, but way up in gold right now, and he knows who to focus in these fights.
Yeah, they took Piglet's champion away. They took that Caitlyn that he had so much success on, and the range of this comp against the Sivir, it's basically a death sentence, but look at this.
Yeah, they're going to keep coming back to Baron with the
Dardoch.
Soraka sustained.
Dardoch.
Those back spikes, they don't forgive.
Baron does so much damage backwards. Everybody gets out of the pit. They say that's not the place to fight. They're in the front side now. 2,000 HP on to Baron. 1K. It's going to be Xmithie by himself. The team going to take the fight. And it looks like they'll be all right here. Lourlo's going to get slow just again outside the parallel convergence.
FeniX.
But there's a red buff on. Stixxay, a 1, 2, a third shot. He comes up with a triple. No, it's taken by Darshan.
May as well be, though. That's 10 kills to 2 right now. Just the Soraka that is down. And CLG is relentless with how they are forcing Team Liquid into this Baron. They're going to get a lot off this push.
Oh, they're definitely going to get a lot here. Stixxay positioning forward. They want to be as aggressive as possible. They have the wave clear. They have the Baron buff. This is at least an inhibitor here, Rip.
CLG Gaming fantastically pressuring their leads, playing the picks and bans. Very smart to almost gimp Team Liquid coming into the Rift. And they've done so here. Stixxay using that Caitlyn to the same effect Piglet did in game 1.
What is Team Liquid to do when they fall behind early in the game with this composition from minute 1 when Matt went to face check?
See the Baron fight.
And here they're already down their 80 carries, so you know in a full-on team fight they're out of it. And the way CLG pulled out as Dardoch goes in was just the perfect timing.
But Dardoch didn't have vision of the pit. He jumps in, and then Matt throws a ward down. So Dardoch was like, I have to at least attempt.
Right.
If it's super low, just check it. And he wasn't able to wait that half second before Matt put the ward down for the actual check there. That would have been much safer, so.
Things become so scary when you're almost relying on the fact that you have an invincibility ultimate to check, right? It's not going to be used for the fight, it's so I can check this. Things become very difficult
He
when
didn't even
that
try to
starts
go back
happen.
in afterwards.
Right.
He had vision of it. to try and steal.
All right, let's take stock of it. CLG holding the leads once they get it, and now 9,000 up. The Baron is going to help them start to push down these lanes. Really, the only thing that's not in place is mid and bot. So
and they don't need to split push this one. They have the team fight composition. Team Liquid could not hold this confidently. There's the teleport that they're going to try.
Xmithie over onto Lourlo. He is very low for being one of the tankier guys on the team. They have no one else to focus but FeniX. They finally throw down some ultimates to get themselves in a good spot, and CLG only has a bit more work to do to find their kills. They're still pushing Team Liquid back.
And remember, this is a Soraka siege, so they get to continue to come back up to full health with the Baron minions and keep pushing for that second.
Oh, you can tank turret too, no problem. Aphromoo, he's still got a lot of heals left, and as the Baron minions come up to tank it for them, oh, they're fast!
Oh, there's going to be the turret going down, so nothing to defend or fight under. Peacemaker making peace with Matt, taking him down. He will not be able to help the team, and it looks like Dardoch just actually flashing what a Cocoon would not have hit him. So he can't come back as aggressively into the fight. The inhibitors are going down, and CLG is just closing their jaw in this game. Piglet's able to stay alive, but for how much longer? They're onto the Nexus turrets.
They are relentless. Their health bars are slivers, but Afro is in the back. I don't even think he has the health to heal unless he lands a Q.
Dodges it. Xmithie's up. Xmithie goes down. He actually landed on the Q, the aftershock of it. And they are going to be able to get 2 Nexus turrets. Counter Logic Gaming, another definitive win here. This time, 30 minutes on the clock. We're going 2-1 here. Match point, Counter Logic Gaming.
And boy, this game must have felt real good for CLG because Team Liquid is kind of running out of options here. I think they have to switch their bans up because that was just too clean for CLG. They got what they wanted. They outsmarted Team Liquid in Champion Select. They outplayed them in the game, and that's 2 games in a row now. One more puts them in finals.
As TL, you have to be thinking you had that great victory in game 1, but that was really off of your mid game. That was off of Huhi's mistake. This game was right from the get-go. You're getting smashed from minute 1, even Champion Select. You're slowly having your mentality go down and down and down because you're hitting against a brick wall at this point. It's super frustrating to play against. And honestly, TL, they have to show resilience in this 4th game if they want to actually have a 5th.
Sorry.
What do you got for us?
Stixxay's damage to champions was insane. He did 33,400 damage to champions. The next closest on CLG was 10,300. Like, the percentage of team's damage here, that's over 50% of the team's damage in that game from Stixxay. So he was a guy who was one of the lowest in the league at percentage of team's damage in the regular season. And the excuse for that is that CLG didn't have conventional and traditional team fights where AD carries do most of their damage.
Right.
And the question was going to be, can he, if in a team fight composition, can he do the damage? Yeah, he can. That's an insane amount of damage in the team fight. So props to Stixxay and the rest of CLG for playing around it and changing their style.
We haven't seen much from him. It's always solo queue highlights for him. So for him to be able to do that, as well as the team was playing well around the board, and Zirene, as you were mentioning, TL having trouble in the beginning, that plays on their mentality. Coming into these games, you have game 1 that was in the bag, right? And then you didn't see any of those errors from CLG in game 2 or game 3. So how do you turn on that? That becomes so much more difficult.
You really have to hope that you have the background and the resilience from scrims, from practice. Your coaching staff has to be able to, revise the draft a little bit and talk about that, because that Ekko first pick, you could see on the faces of TL, it did not look like what they were expecting to come out the door, and it threw them off, and then everything seemed to collapse from there.
Let's see. Do they go? Is it Piglet carry time? Is it focus for Piglet?
I think so. I think it's time you drop that Tristana ban, start banning something else, and put Piglet on a carry.
We will see. To walk us through that match, we're going to go turn it over to Dash and